Welcome back to Coding the Sounds of Music. In this video, we will do our first coding challenge, and we're going to explore a sound that I've named boop. Let's get started. Navigate on your calculator to page 1.10. Should be challenge number 1. I'll give you a moment to navigate. Don't forget to use that click pad. We're going to write a program on the next page that uses this Python method. It's called sound.tone frequency time. What does all this mean? Well, in Python, tone is a way to make that electrical signal that goes to the hub over here to play a sound on the speaker. And sound is the way that Python organizes all of the associated methods for the speaker into this group called sound. So really what this is saying is go to the collection of Python code that's called sound, it's for the speaker, and select one particular method called tone. That particular method takes two what are called arguments, or sometimes these are called parameters. They're really just variables that you put values into. The first one is frequency. Remember, we learned about frequency back in the violin activity. It's the vibration that the speaker is going to make here on the bottom. And it's going to be the tone that we hear. Time is the duration of the tone. So for example, if I put in a frequency of 100, this speaker will vibrate 100 times a second. And if I put in a time of 5, it'll play that tone for 5 seconds. So we're going to explore different tones by changing the frequency, and we're also going to explore the time. I want you to take a moment after we have started running the program to explore the different sounds that you can make by changing these two numbers. I've named my favorite sound boop. I challenge you to come up with a creative but appropriate name to name your tone when you find the correct combination of frequency and time that you find pleasing. Let's go to the next page and try running boop. I'll go Control, click pad to the right. And now this is the first time that we've actually looked at the Python editor. This first line is what's called an import statement. And this import statement brings in all of the code that the calculator needs to control the TI Innovator Hub. You don't need to really worry too much about this. You just need to make sure that it's included in the first line of your program. I have included it for you in many of the program setups. Notice this little hashtag, or sometimes referred to as a pound symbol. This hash symbol means that what follows is a comment. In other words, it's just a note that I write to myself reading the program, and it has nothing to do with the running of the program. So this little hashtag just basically is a way for me to make a little note to myself of this is what's going on in the program, but it has no effect on the actual code itself. The calculator just doesn't even pay attention to these. All it pays attention to is this first line of importing the hub, and this second line, which goes to this collection of functions that are for the speaker sound, and it chooses the one called tone, and it plays a tone at 100 Hertz for 5 seconds. And so let's go ahead and play this tone. I'm going to play it, and when I do, I'm going to lift the hub up close to my microphone so you can hear it. I want you to do the same on yours though. Did you hear it? Well, let's try to change it. So I'm going to go back a page. We remember how to do that. Control, click pad to the left. And I'm going to move my cursor using my trackpad. And I can move my click pad onto the line and then click to the right. And I'm going to change this from 100 to 500. And I'm going to play it again. So I'm going to go to Menu and number 2 and Run. Notice that Run has Control and R next to it. So if I press Control plus R, it will run the program. That's just a little shortcut. I may use that next time. So I'm going to go ahead and press Control R. Did you hear that it was a higher pitch? Again, I'll navigate back to the Python editor, Control, click pad to the left, and this time I'm going to change my time. This time let's change the time to be just 2 seconds. And now I'll try the Control R, so I'll press Control and the letter R. Did you notice that it played for a shorter period of time? I want you to pause your video now, and I want you to play with these two numbers, pressing Control R to try and run it, and moving back and forth between these two pages, 1.11 and 1.12. And I want you to come up with what you think is your favorite tone. And then I want you to come up with a name for it. And you can enter your name as a comment in the code. If you're doing this in a class, your teacher may ask you to submit the name that you've come up with. Pause your video now, and I'll give you a moment to try this. When you're finished, resume the video and we'll conclude this video. Well, I hope you invented a clever sound. I wish that I could hear it. And I hope you came up with a creative name to describe it too. While you were gone, I also played around and I came up with a sound that I call, "This is my floor." Well, it kind of sounds like the noise an elevator makes when I get to my floor. It's 500 hertz and it's 2 seconds long. This concludes this video. Please stick around for the next one that will explain how a speaker works. Now this next video is optional, so if you're in a hurry, you may want to skip it. But if you're interested in how a speaker really makes a sound, well, check it out. I'll see you in the next video.